All right, guys. Jimmy here from Suncoast Sports. As promised, I said I would get an interview with Jonny. This has been in the works for a couple weeks, and we finally got to meet up and do this video. So we just wanted to talk about the new one-piece bet that's out. This is the Melee Reloaded 2. This is the new and the only, well, not the only, I guess there's been a couple one pieces before, but for a few years it hasn't been a one piece, so this is the new one now. As you've seen in my video, it does have a max speed barrel to 3/4 ounce end load. It's just a great bat. We were in North Carolina playing this weekend, and there was a lot of people swinging it. And not only that, they're selling out fast. So if you want one, get a hold of me quick because they're going fast. So anyway, enough about that. We were talking to the man himself, Jonny Dykes. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a busy schedule, a lot of things going on. But this, your bat has John Heller and yourself on this, and I'll just let you talk about it. A lot of people had asked about it. They want to know how it swings, how it feels, and some people were like the longevity of it, things like that. And we'll go over that and just let you talk about it. But so I'll just leave it to you. Talk a little bit about the bat and what it took to get it. Finally, it took a long time. We've been waiting for a long time for it to come, and with all the other shipments and customs and all that garbage that went on last year, it took a while to get here, but it is here. It is a hot item, and if you would just take a couple minutes and talk about the bat a little bit.
Well, first of all, I'm a little personal to the colors, so I just got to tell you I love the colors. But the bat, it took us about 6 months. We started out just, with John and Lee with a bunch of prototypes, and basically just kept narrowing it down, and finally we got it narrowed down to a different couple of bats, and then it all became more of a feel thing for me. I wanted this barrel really stiff. As you know, I kind of took a while off from softball, and when I was leaving softball, they were starting to do the two-piece bats. The thing I just never liked about the two-piece bat was the flex. I kind of lost control of where the bat head was, or it was just counterproductive for me. Right. And now I've kind of noticed with some of these senior bats, they have a lot of flex in the handles. And back to what I just said, I have to feel, I like to feel where the weight is, where the barrel is, and that's how I can kind of control and guide the ball where I want to. But if the bat head is flexing, I kind of lose that control. So I was excited about this, excited about it coming out. It had some delays, and that just being from COVID and things that are out of your control, but super excited about it. A lot of people have asked me how the bat swings, which is such a vague question. But the best way I can sum it up is how I previously stated. The bat it's a smooth swinging bat. It's not the bat that you got to really load up. I would say 85-90% swing, and it'll get the job done. It comes through so well. Yeah. And I've actually even heard other people say that to me, but it does have a 3/4 ounce load. We wanted to do an ounce. Just couldn't get it to work. The bat was just it was too hot. The bat was too hot with an ounce. But that kind of tells you where Suncoast is and where they are with their product. I always get a kick out of the comment, and I've seen some videos and commentary where people make the best performance, the best durability. Well, I'll never agree to that, right. Because it's a give and take. You got to find a middle there. You've got to find a place to where the bat is performing at the highest performance, but also you can get some durability out of it. So to each their own. I mean, there's certainly views of that. I would tell you with this bat, 20 swings, it's good to go.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that. I will say from swinging these bats for over a year, and this goes back to all Suncoast bats, if you want to create a longer life with these bats, it's a rotation process. And I don't mean spinning the bat, I mean rotating bats. You need a couple. 15, 20 swings, set it down. 15, 20 swings, set it down. I was taught that lesson by the guy who designs the bats, so I'd say his facts are pretty solid. If anybody wants to debate that, that's a different conversation. I'd be glad to have it.
Right.
I mean, I don't think you could argue with John. But what it does is it, and again, not to get too technical, it just allows the molecules in the bat to settle and not get as eradicated with as many consistent swings. So that's one way. I would also say, you know, we all like to hit the ball hard and feel good about it, but don't hit super hard balls. You know, find a solid BP ball to hit BP with, and just don't hit it in cold weather. You know?
I get that a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, well, these bats aren't lasting, and this and that. And as soon as you talk to them about what they're doing with the bat, you can definitely tell why their bats aren't lasting. A lot of heavy balls, a lot of hard balls they're hitting with it, and come down to that. If you're going to hit the bat in 200, 300, 500 times in BP, then the longevity of the bat's not going to be there. But
another thing too is when you start swinging and you get distracted with hitting a ball, you kind of lose count of your swings as well. I have people when I swing count for me, and I'll come back and go, "What is that, like 20 swings?" They're like, "No, that's 50." And I'm just like, "Wow, okay." But you know, it's just, you know, I like to metaphorically compare it to like a race car. You know, when you have these high performance cars and stuff, I mean, they take upkeep. You know, just not compared to the, you know, the little Yugo or something you have out there on the road that you can just drive forever. And you know, when you want something that's high performance, you have to have a maintenance for it to last. And that's what this is. I mean, so it does take a certain maintenance to it, and you know, and it'll perform. And it'll perform when you want it to, which is in the games. I don't know who really wants a bat to perform super crazy in BP, but you know, there might be some. So in that aspect, as far as the performance goes, that's, you know, that's something you have to live by, and that's all bats with Suncoast. I've been over here a little over a year and a half, and I mean, you know, I'm not the one to sit here and say, well, this bat's for everybody, because it's just not. We have a lot of other bats that are coming, but where they're headed and the technology, not only the technology, just the factory where they make these bats, it's phenomenal. And I want to address something real quick too. Just because we make the bat in China, people need to understand something. We can't make the bat here. We don't have a facility that can manufacture the bat the way that we do it. So this particular facility in China is the only place that can manufacture the design. So that's why it has to be made there. I do hear, oh, why don't you make the bat in the US? Well, if we had the factory to make the bat, we would. We'd love to, but we can't. And you know, I won't get into a deeper story about that, but other bats that have came and gone were made in that factory, and they no longer are. So that's just something I like to get out there. It's not that we want to make the bat in China. I mean, it's just not that way. It's just the only place we can make it.
Right. I'd also like to address the thing over here. This a lot. First batch, second batch. You know, and I've explained to people that Suncoast just doesn't do that. There's not a player model that you can get that are hot to sell the bat, and then when they get the bat, it's totally different. I've tried to explain that, but if you would just give a couple minutes, maybe they'll listen to you more than they will me. But
as far as first batch, second batch, I can speak to Suncoast on that. We don't make a first batch, hot batch, and then turn around and make a second batch not as hot. I mean, I've heard speculation about that, and even way back I've heard speculation about that. The players are getting the same bats that come off the shelves that we send out to anybody who buys one. If anybody wants to swing one of my bats, it's 28 and a half, 29 and a half.
If
you want to swing it, find me, I'll let you swing it. It's no different than anything else. I mean, I know people say that, but I'll let you swing it. It don't bother me, you know. But there is no change in batches or change in how hot the bat is, and there's a really valid reason why that is because when that bat is approved, it has to remain exactly how it was approved. If you go and start changing what you had approved and somebody gets hurt or something, there's some major lawsuits, and that's just, if you're going to run a business, there's no way you could do something like that. It just, I mean, we can't even, you know, I'm personally really fond of the autism movement, and I've asked them to put the autism ribbon on this, and we can't even do that. We can't change anything graphics wise or anything until you have a bat reapproved. So that turns into a situation where, I don't know if people know, but every time you get or just send it to get it tested, it's like $10,000. So you don't want to send a bunch of bats off for approval and not be getting them approved. So, but the whole batch myth it's bogus. I mean, now I'm speaking to Suncoast. I don't know what Worth and Easton, and I can't speak for them, but I wouldn't think it's policy that they would do that, you know.
Well, and then you think about the bats themselves, how they're moving off the shelves, what you're seeing out on the fields, not just in Florida, but everywhere, Texas, California. I mean, everywhere that you go to watch a game, Suncoast bats are just all over the place. And I don't think if that was the case, people would still be swinging them. So they do speak for themselves. I just wanted to clarify some things because you do have people's opinions, you do hear things, and I think what happens is you get too many people saying certain things, and then they're listening to all those opinions or reviews, and I think sometimes maybe you could just hear a little bit too much instead of just grabbing the bat, seeing if you like it. If you don't like it, then don't swing it. But
and there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, unfortunately, we're getting closer to where, I don't know, people will think a lot of opinion is fact now, but it's just not. It's not factual. And like I said, as any player or player rep with Suncoast, you know, we don't get a special treatment. We don't get a special bat. I mean, the owner himself, Lee, he pulls one out of a case and goes and swings it. I mean, so, but that should tell you that the bat in general is performing at a level that is just where it is. You can't do much more in that balance of, you know, having some kind of durability and the highest performance. You know, I think it's about where it needs to be. I mean, I think it's a fair bat. I mean, I really do. I mean, you know, but it's different for everybody. I square the ball a lot more, so I tend to bust a lot more bats. People who spin the ball are going to bust less bats. With the black and orange melee that I used to swing before this came out, some of those I was getting 200 swings, if that, 150. This I'm getting, you know, for me 400, which 400 for me is like, wow, that's awesome. You know, so, but I mean, granted, and I'm not saying anything different about me. I'm just saying, as someone who hits a lot more knuckleballs or squares the ball up a lot, you know, I don't, you know, that's kind of what, you know, that's kind of how it works for me. Now, someone who spins the ball, bat's going to last a lot longer, you know, so, but, you know, I'm happy with it. I mean, I don't know where else you could go with it. To me, the barrel is a 12-inch, but you know how it graduates, it takes a little longer to graduate. It feels more like a 13-inch to me. But, you know, the whole barrel's good.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. And I this is actually one that I got out of the first batch. I mean,
Okay.
and there's no spider webbing on it or
Yeah.
anything. It's still,
Barely even see any marks on it. I
No.
know you've hit that
Yeah.
bat a lot. So
yeah.
uh,
I
one
mean,
thing
I
you
probably
need to-
got 250 swings on it, and I was just sitting here looking to see if there's any spider webbing. There's
There's
nothing.
nothing on it.
No.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and I don't mean to cut you off. I wanted to add this because it just popped in my mind.
Mhm.
They swing light. The bat
Okay.
swings light, and if nobody knows this about Suncoast bats, you can see. I take the bat tape off
Mhm.
or the wrap. That's 0.5 ounces.
Mhm.
So the minute I take that off, this 28.5 turns into a 28.
Okay.
So I'm just
Step
giving
up.
people a little bit of a heads up.
Mhm.
The bat's going to swing light. It does.
Yeah. Well, I do know the nice thing about Suncoast is everything that I've scaled, for weight and stuff, they're all like right on. I even talked to one guy who's bought a few bats, works for a postal service, and he used the postal scales on it, and he's like, they're all like right on. It's not
Yeah.
like you have this number here, this number here. The whole weight of itself is legit to what it's saying. So, but yeah, I'm glad you clarified that. I myself like to keep the original handle on it. It's just how, and then I also use a knob on the end. It's just the way I feel. Some people can't stand the knob. Some people can't stand not having just tape on it. But
It's all mental.
Yeah, it is, and that's half of our game anyway, right? It's
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah.
But the bat does, and I want to share this with other bats with Suncoast. I know we're just talking about this one, but the bat performance on all these bats are they're amazing. And John doing the technology, the guy is just a genius when it comes to these bats. And
Yeah, you don't want to have that conversation with him. It,
No.
it gets deep.
I would like to sit down with him and do an interview with him too.
Bring your
And,
calculator.
but yeah, I would just sit back and watch and be amazed. That's all. So
Yeah.
just talking to the man himself on a regular basis is just it's
Mhm.
amazing. Great guy. Obviously knows what he's doing. The Suncoast brand itself is just speaking for it. So I know we can go way back to when he
Mhm.
the other bats that he made
I've
and
swung
all
his
that
other
stuff.
ones,
And,
too.
they're all just
I go way back with him.
yeah,
So,
they're all just great bats. And
yeah.
well, I don't want to take too much more of your time, Johnny. I appreciate your time
No.
that you've given. Thanks for
appreciate
clarifying
it.
a lot of things
I appreciate
that you
it.
do. And guys, just on an end note, Johnny hits the ball a long ways, and he hits the ball hard. And when I tell you he squares up the ball, when he said that, squares up the ball and hits the ball in a bat that will last 400 swings for him, I'm telling you, that's impressive because he just hits the ball hard and he hits it a long ways. And it's just he's got that nasty left-handed swing. It's just smooth. It's awesome to watch him play. But I do again appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you for going over this. I know there's a lot more that we could discuss, but we'll kind of keep the video
Yeah.
down to a minimum.
Yeah.
But again, appreciate your time and again, just thank you for all you do for the sport
Absolutely.
and for Suncoast itself. So.
Absolutely.
Guys, if you have any other questions, again, here's the video I promised we'd get out to you. We got it. You can always call me if you don't have my cell number. It's 727-457-8238. I will not give you Johnny's number, so you can't do that. But if you have any questions or if you need to order a bat, just give me a call. You can also visit Suncoast Sports on the internet and go through there also. But I appreciate you watching. And again, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys on the field soon.